Hello and welcome back to the Impression Wiz channel. I'm your host, the Impression Wiz, and today we are back with Pesterquest, and we are going to finally get to Kanaya. You don't know how many times I've tried to say getting to Kanaya at some point. It's probably not as many as I'm thinking, but it feels like I've said it a lot. So let's get to it. Okay. Already played through Car Cats, so... You are learning more about yourself every day. For example, while you already knew that friendship was everything, you are now realizing that staying with your friends is not a priority. At least, that must be right, because you keep leaving friends and starting over again. Why are you doing this? Probably a deep-held value of some kind. That makes sense. Anyway, you're ready to meet some more friends, and the only place you've seen new people recently has been on Jade's dream planet. You zap over there. This time, something is different. It seems to be a different part of the day than before, and the overhead clouds that previously served as fluffy ambient backgrounds are now alive with images. Meteors striking a dark world, a planet covered in sugary mountains dotted with goofy giant teapots. A young gray-skinned alien girl running around catching frogs. I have a sneeze coming on. Excuse me. Meteor striking a dark world, a planet covered in sugary I just read that, I'm sorry. I lost a little bit of track of what I was doing. Well, you can take guidance from them too. You've trusted more dubious things than clouds. You zone in on that frog girl with the short haircut and the red skirt. Time for the zappy thing. It's always night on Troll Planet. At least when folks are out and about. But it's not usually this dark. You confidently head out to start exploring your surroundings and immediately run into a wall face first. Okay. You're getting your bearings now. You've ended up in some kind of closet. You refrain from making a hack-eyed joke about it. They probably don't even have that cultural metaphor here. Probably not. And the noise you made... Excited and answering yelp, and surprised in the room outside, you hear footsteps approaching you, and then someone yanks the door open. Hello. What the fuck? Honestly, just saying what the fuck in Kanaya, because I don't picture her saying that, really. Anyway, opening the door has allowed a beam of bright sunlight to fall across your face. You feel instinctively that the light is somehow something to avoid. You hold your hands up to shield your face. Then remember that your hands are also made of skin, and whimper. The heat is doing its best to fry you, like a vampire in a movie. You are sure that idle thought will not end up having a relevance to this troll girl's story whatsoever. What are you? Did you just wander in here, or what? I have a bug in my little office, apologies. Something like that, you tell her, cringing away from the light. You get the feeling this girl is not going to fall for the old mailman gambit. Mail troll? You tell her you know one of her other friends. Who? Wait. Is it Cawcat? Yes. I knew it. He's making friends with all kinds. He makes friends with all kinds. Blah, blah. Well, I obviously can't kick you out right now. You don't seem to be able to handle the sun. So I guess you better stick around until at least nighttime. You could easily zap to nighttime, but this is giving you an in. So instead you agree, no problem. You can just hang out in this closet. It's fine. It's a lovely closet. I know we just met, but you are being kind of weird. You hope it's the kind of weird that eventually becomes charming. You don't say that, though, just think it. You know the barrier between your words and thoughts is ambiguous at best, but for real. Anyway, you have no obligation to sulk around in my wardrobifying asset chamber. I have a solution. Pulling the shades? Maybe? No. Why would I deprive my plants of life-giving sunlight for a fragile-skinned creature I've never met before? It is another solution. A minute later, you are dressed in a floor-length gown of emerald velvet, with long sleeves, a high neckline, and a dramatic hood to pull over your head. The dress does nothing for the heat, but it effectively shields you from the sunlight. There you go. All swaddled up like a baby, you joke. The troll just gives you a level look. Clearly you've stumbled on a cultural misalignment. Even though she's the one who hasn't even heard of a baby, she stares at you until you start to feel embarrassed for knowing things that she doesn't know. She's very good at staring contests. And what an amazing potential friend. Now out of the closet, you know now that that joke won't land either. You look around the room. It is indeed covered with plants, as well as colorful bolts of fabric and half-finished sewing projects. Unlike Rose's knitting disarray, it does not give the impression of someone who has difficulty finishing things. Excuse me. This troll's room gives the impression of someone who enjoys, even excels at having multiple irons in hot places. Or at least she thinks she does. She seems to have just been on her computer thing when you zapped in. Because her chat client is flashing instantly. You try to peer at the open window, but she hits a button and makes the projection disappear. A delicate green flush rises to her cheeks. No need to look at that. Guiltily, you remember spying on Rose. When she called you out, you thought for a second that your chances of being her friend had run out, like if there was a universe where you became her friend and one where you didn't. You stumbled clumsily into the wrong one, the bad one, if you will. But luckily, everything turned out fine. Maybe you could get away with it again? Plus, this troll doesn't even know about your powers yet. Not like Rose did. She would have no reason to suspect you. Spy on the troll's communications or do not. I feel like that's not a good idea to do, because I think it did actually go kind of bad last time. But that could also be a bad ending that we could do. Oh, let me save really quick. Let's not. If I miss the ending, oh well. Or the bad ending, oh well. No. Even if you don't get caught, it's just not a good way to begin a friendship. Much fairer to start on an even footing. Besides, you already have an in. You ask the troll how she knows Karkat. She looks bored by this conversation starter. Sorry, but I was actually kind of busy when you came in. I am not going to consign you to fairy death outside in the light, but I would appreciate some personal time. Sure, you say. Of course. The troll gives you a suspicious look until you turn away enough that she can be assured of privacy. She goes right back to chatting with her friends. After a while, she gets up and starts working on a dress she's sewing. She keeps getting frustrated, ripping it out and redoing it to get it perfect. She's not being rude to you, but she's ignoring you. You attempt to engage a few more times, and she keeps answering politely, but she just refuses to be pulled into shenanigans from which the last friendship could form. After several hours, the sunlight slips below the horizon and leaves the world in twilight. The troll girl yawns. Well, it would be safe for you to leave now. Goodbye. She nicely but firmly directs you out the door. Of course, I decided to choose the wrong one. I thought it... Okay, I like that face. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Huh? So you know what that means. Spy on the troll's communications is the right one. Although I don't like it. Especially with Kanaya, because she has a chainsaw in the background. She could cut you in half. We've seen it in Homestuck. Anyway. You excuse yourself to the... You don't know what they call it here? The necessaries? You have your hand in a vaguely embarrassed... Wave your hand in a vaguely embarrassed way, and the troll gets it. Out of her sight, you zap back a few minutes ago, just outside the door of the room you're now in. You wait until you hear the thump of yourself arriving in the closet, and the troll abandoning her desk. Then you quickly zap to the room and read her current chat. It just cannot escape my notice that the last 3 times you've contacted me, it was to ask if I finished your dress yet. Under these circumstances, I find it trying to believe that you want it for... Nate? No particular... Reading Vriska's quirk is hard to do. I apologize, because with the 8s, it's hard to tell when she's using it as the actual word 8 sometimes, or as zeros, because she's done that. No particular reason. I wish you could just tell me why it's so important. Of course you do! Fussy Fangs always has to have a reason for everything. Maybe I just want to present a present for my Moirail. Did you think of that? Or are you too busy fussing around in your fuss block? Maybe I'm being nice, or did you not think I could be nice sometimes? I know you can be. When you want, sort of. Are we Moirails again now, then? Yesterday you said defining our relationship was something only lame dorks would do. Yeah, and my Moirail is a super lame dork. And I'll be honest, I'm not fully trying with Vriska, because she's one of them that I hate. Not as much as Eridan, surprisingly, but I have an Eridan voice, so... That's you, Fangface! It's just that I can't help but notice that I'm your Moirail again right now when you want something from me. You notice a lot, don't you? Always noticing something. Excuse me. I bet you would be shocked to know how much you don't see. You don't even know half of what I have going on. That almost sounds like John, but... If I have ever pretended to know what is going on with you, please allow me to apologize for such a gross misrepresentation of my reality. Whatever. Can you just tell me if you finished it yet? Hello? Kanaya? The logs end there. You zap back before past you is done changing into the dress and re-enter the room. The troll Kanaya is back at her lunchbox computer, typing furiously. You have to handle this situation delicately. She can't know you were spying on her, since you've already said that you know Karkat. You hedge your bets on all of them sharing the same friend group. You ask her carefully if she happens to know your other friend as well, Arachnid's Grip. The little green flush darkens Kanaya's cheeks again. She bites her lip, knowing one kind of adorable fang. Showing one kind of adorable fang. Yes, I know her. Why? You are sure that helping Kanaya figure out her situation with this girl is the key to earning her friendship. A big, juicy interpersonal conflict to solve as has been dangled in front of you, and nothing makes friends more reliably. But then again, you don't really know anything about this other troll. You don't even know her name, just her handle. Can you really be of use to Kanaya, especially when your knowledge of this girl is based on a foundation of lies? Is this the right way to go? I would like to check my time really quick here. Okay, we have enough time. Oh, this is not gonna be easy. You know what, D&D dice? Help me out here, because I don't know which one to do. I'm going to roll a d4. I got a new d4. That's pretty cool. But what is it? It's a 2. So usually the top one I would do odd, and the bottom one I would do evens. So I guess back off. No reason, you say, just curious. Kanaya gives you a suspicious look. Okay. Well, I'm kind of in the middle of something. You can just while away the time until it gets dark. I actually want to go back and save right here first. Wait, did it all... I think it already saved for me. Okay, well, okay. Wait, no. Let's turn skipping off. Back off. Okay. Sure. So now that we're in the actual thing here, I apologize for that little weird thing. You watch her for a few minutes as she finishes up her conversation and then starts working on things around her room. But having seen what you've seen, you are determined to find some way to help her. If you can't fix her interpersonal problems, maybe you can figure out something else she'd enjoy. Filled with investigative spirit, you start to gather evidence. Snoop. You start to snoop. Spying got you this far. Spying is great. I don't think that's always a good thing. You rifle through Kanaya's bookshelf. She has a number of sewing pattern books, which you assume must have some kind of whimsically gruesome twist congruent with the rest of the world building on this planet, but pretty much just look like sewing pattern books. There's one thing on the shelf in your own language. It's not a book, it's a stack of printed out pages, bound together in a distinctly homemade way. It says, Spurb Beta Walkthrough, at the top of this covered with familiar prose. You're pretty sure the events described in this document never happened in the timeline you're currently making. But maybe whatever source Kanaya got this from is not bound strictly to one timeline. We're going to hook her up with Rose. Anyway, there are a number of books featuring shiny white figures, mostly women, with prominent fangs and various colored blood dripping from their cruel and elegant mouths. They were all dressed in an explosion of bright-colored fabrics. Something about their sparkle strikes you as deeply, strangely familiar. You must just be thinking of vampires. There's no reason you would know anything about whatever the rainbow blood imbinging trolls equivalent is. Rainbow drinkers is what it is there, my friend. But anyway, most of these covers feature a swooning troll of varying genders, clearly about to have their throat torn out sexily. Oh, the fact that this game made me say that. Many of the rainbow vampires are being menaced by brave heroes, all wielding chainsaws. A loud buzz makes you look up, and you can't help but notice that Kanaya is tending to her topiaries with the large chainsaw of her own. Okay, you put this all together. The bright colors around the house, the choice of weapon, the love of sunlight, Kanaya's heart's desire is clearly to date a sexy vampire. Maybe that's what AG is. I doubt it. You wonder if you could make this happen for her. Maybe on this planet, it's not just a fantasy. Ironically, she's the vampire in this situation, but I'm not gonna tell him that. You clear your throat and get Kanaya's attention, and then casually wonder aloud if Alternia has any kind of non-living creatures? Oh, you mean the undead? Yes, the undead. Where might one find the undead? It is not difficult. They tromp past my hive in their hordes every day, slaughtering and so on, or slavering? Yeah, I'm trying to get in sometimes. It's all coming together. That must be the root of Kanaya's fascination. You start to form a plan. For the next few hours, you keep a keen eye trained on the window. Sure enough, within an hour, a group of strange, shambling creatures lurch into view. You yell and point out the window, drawing Kanaya's attention, and then zap yourself out there in front of the horde. I really doubt this is a smart idea. Now that you're up close, you can see that these guys are not exactly the debonair creatures of the night from Kanaya's book covers. They're more like zombies. Big, slow, stumbling things, half of them falling apart, still needs must. You are going to net one of them for Kanaya. I doubt that this is the idea. You stand your ground as they lurch towards you, trying to select the most alluring. Suddenly, Kanaya is at your side out of breath from running. She's wielding her chainsaw. Are you actually bereft of sense? You don't fight the undead. This is suicidal. I kinda should have said that to him, I guess, then. You weren't trying to fight them, but there's no time to explain that because they're attacking you anyway. A great monstrous arm backhands you to the ground. The monstrous claw tears through your gown and into your shoulder, lifting you by it. The creature opens a mouthful of more teeth than you thought could fit inside there. When you're falling, you hit the ground and roll dirt gritting into your wounds on your arm. Oh my. Is that black blood? Or is that oil coming from the chainsaw? The top half of the creature lands next to you, twitching slightly, Kanaya's chainsaw gleaming in its black blood. Okay, it is black blood, thank you. She twirls bisects another undead thing, but then a third bear hugs her from behind and lifts her, its maw open wide. You scramble to your feet and throw yourself at Kanaya, grabbing her kicking leg and squeezing your eyes shut and to concentrate. You zap. Please don't let the monster have come with you. You open your eyes. The monster did not come with you. Only its arms did. Kanaya shakes herself a little bit, free of their disembodied embrace. Blood pools on her carpet. She does something to get rid of her chainsaw, and suddenly she's holding a tube of lipstick, which she opens. She slicks a fresh coat of black onto her lips. You slowly catch your breath. You're about to offer an apology, but something makes you pause. Kanaya is staring at the pool of blood. She's cautiously guilty, leans down and swipes a finger in the mess. She brings it to her mouth and delicately licks. Blah! Thank you, I love getting to see that. Or blah! I'm dead. She makes a face and spits the blood out. Then she looks up at you, flushing emerald with embarrassment. Oh, you think you made a mistake. Kanaya doesn't want to date vampires. She wants to be a vampire. Now you get it. Pretend you did not see that? You smile cautiously. It's okay. You tell her you're embarrassed yourself by your foolish actions. Yes. Why did you do that? Also, how did you teleport? We will be coming back to that one. Do not mistake me. But I can't understand why anyone would run straight into a horde of undead. You look down. Well, it's just that when she said undead, you were picturing something else. Another kind of creature that was dead, and now isn't, and is a little more appealing? Understanding dawns. Oh, I see. Well, that's understandable. Vampires are just so cool. They're so cool and hot, and it would make sense for anyone to want to be one. I don't know what a vampire is, but I believe that we are on the same page. Maybe I misjudged you. Perhaps you have greater intelligence and finer taste than I originally inferred. Maybe you say. You bet anyone with taste would find Kanaya daring, unconventional, aesthetically intriguing. Even some, like, the tentacled therapist. Kanaya freezes. What? How do you... Did you just... I mean, who is that? I mean, She clears her throat uncomfortably. Whoever that is, I hope you are right. And also, well... She looks embarrassed again. Thank you for saying so. You nod, wondering if you should say more. But you should keep that friend's secret, just like you're going to keep Kanaya's vampire fantasy secret, because that's what friends do. So I got... Okay, so somehow I ended up with a fail and the right ending in one episode. I did not actually try to do that. If I don't have... Yeah, that was one episode. How is it possible that I got Kanaya's all in one episode? Well, I might go ahead and find one of the fails that I didn't get a chance to do for Kanaya. Maybe next time. Right before doing... Maybe it'll be an episode, maybe it'll just be the beginning of the next episode where I get to be... I need the name. I am blanking on names. So we went... It'll be Vriska's. Yay. But, anyway... I might do Kanaya's other... before we get into Vriska's too deep. Or it might be an episode on its own. But I want to thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please put a like on the video. And if you want to see more of my content, please subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss anything I upload. And as always, I will see you tomorrow.